The Triple B Podcast would like to invite you to come break bread with your brothers. If you like what you're hearing on the show, if you think we missed the mark, or if we got it all wrong, reach out to us on social media. We can be reached on Twitter at triple_B_pod or search Brothers Breaking Bread Podcast. We are the Brothers Breaking Bread on Facebook, and our email is brothersbreakingbreadpod@gmail.com. Further descriptions are in the show notes. Like, follow, friend, do all that good stuff, and please never forget to break bread with your brothers.
How y'all doing? We out here, chilling in the spot. What up? How y'all doing? We out here, chilling in the spot. What up? How y'all doing? We out here, chilling in the spot. How y'all doing? We out here, chilling in the spot. What up?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Brothers Breaking Bread Podcast in the house. Hey.
We're having a little hot back. It'll be good.
Yeah, let's make it happen. Let's not just talk about it. This is a beautiful thing, man. Just all this blackness, and we all just getting together, we playing dominoes, we eating, we drinking. And, food is always just the extra, man. They deprive these people of their basic human rights, and we call ourselves Americans. We're supposed to be above all this.
They'll fake the crisis. They'll make it seem way out of proportion.
We brothers, we breaking bread.
How y'all doing? We out here, chilling in the spot. What up?
Trying to hold it all together, man. Life is moving fast right now, man. So it's good to have everybody come through. I love that, man. I love it a lot more than I could say to you guys.
We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 1, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April, 2021 at 1:44 p.m. Signed, juror foreperson, juror number 19. Same caption, verdict count 2. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 2, third-degree murder, perpetrating an eminently dangerous act, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April, 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Signed by jury foreperson, juror number 19. Same caption, verdict count 3. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 3, second-degree manslaughter, culpable negligence, creating an unreasonable risk, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April, 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Jury foreperson 019. Members of the jury, I'm now going to ask you individually if these are your true and correct verdicts. Please.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Triple B Podcast in the house. We here, breaking bread, not just with brothers, but with sisters this week. What's going on, everybody?
What's up? Hey. Chilling.
Wait a minute. I said she went quiet on me. Did the birds take her away?
Oh, hi.
Oh, yeah.
They're loud.
What'd you say?
The birds are loud.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay right now.
They good. We need them. We need some peace in our lives. Oh yeah,
Nice ambiance.
Nice ambiance. We got Tim Meters, half of the brothers of Doom, Joe Jeff. We got Zeb the Soldier. I'm the KC Stork, and we have Delaney. Not the first time, but it's been a minute. We do our check-in, so we're gonna start with you, ma'am. How you been doing? How you living?
I'm good. Busy with school and work. So in grad school for my MBA. Have a lot of papers. Sorry, there's also a neighbor doing construction stuff.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, good. Just busy.
Okay. First white woman in the NBA. I'm just joking. I'm joking. Well, that's good. And good luck to you on that. Definitely. Thank you for giving some of your free time. What's going on, Zeb?
Oh, man, I'm just chilling, man. Happy to be back on with the brothers to break some bread. I think we off last week, so
yes, sir.
It's always good to have this interaction in my life on a weekly basis. Got a little bit of tragic news. I'm one of those. I shouldn't say tragic. That sounds a little too dramatic, but I'm one of those. One of those Stone Age idiots that still smokes tobacco. So I went and got me a vape for my dry herb. Hint. And this morning, or actually not this morning, just a little bit ago, as I was preparing for the show, I broke the motherfucker. I just got it about a month ago.
Had my eyebrows all curled
Hey.
up, looking for something tragic, nigga.
That's why I said. That's why I walked it back. That's why
I said, hold on. This nigga talking about tobacco. I said, he got not Zeb, not the soldier, not the cancer.
I thought that was he got COVID.
Hey,
Hold on. But there is a other side of the coin. I broke it. I got it about a month ago, and I broke it earlier today. But the saving grace is I bought another one yesterday, so I'm good.
won't he do it? Won't he do it? Yeah, you had me in. I think everybody's eyes like, this nigga mean.
Yeah, my bad. I ain't mean to take y'all down that road. that's why I said I was like, well, let me not say that because that sounds a little, too dramatic. But
It did.
But
It
yeah,
did.
man, I was hurt for about 5 seconds, and then I
feel
put
you.
out my other one, my new one.
I feel you. I feel the same way when I drop some of my Colorado candy. I'd be like, oh, I need to watch that off and eat that.
Indeed. But yeah, man, everything's good, man. Everything's good.
Good shit. Hey, what's going on, 10?
Man, ain't nothing going on down here. A little bit of the good news, as opposed to Zeb.
Okay.
I tried this online dating app. It's probably it's through Facebook.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that
Yeah,
before.
and I got some hits, pretty good hits this week. So
You got them hits?
got some hits.
10 meters?
I didn't even know Facebook had an online dating thing.
Yeah, I think it's fairly new.
No, it was around. It wasn't pushed out as a dating app for the most part, but it's been around for a few years. But in this day and age of COVID and Bumble and Zoom and all that stuff getting more and more traction, I think they're starting to push it out a little bit more and make more put more interface on your Facebook page and stuff. Yeah, but it's been around, but it's been quiet for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, so I did get like a hit back and some nice looking women. I haven't physically met them yet, but things are looking good. Things are looking good so far.
Okay.
So that's just a bit of a good. Other than that,
Just don't find yourself in a young buck situation.
bro.
Yeah, no, don't. Hey, don't be sending them no money. Talking about if you give me $5, I get you $1 million.
Oh shit!
Talking to some damn African prince.
Right, exactly.
Send me your crypto coins.
Right.
Oh shit! But yeah, that's good shit, man. Good shit.
Yeah. So hopefully everything works out.
Happy hunting, and you always remember to buy.
Yeah, indeed.
Always remember. I just
All
yeah.
right.
What's going on with you, Joe?
Oh man, Miller track season starting to get to a championship season. School's in full swing.
Nice.
Got my buddy Delaney on the show, so I'm happy.
Whoop whoop.
Y'all had a meet yesterday, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
Rained for a few minutes and then kind of cleared up. We competed.
Yeah,
We showed up to the meet.
that's what it's about.
Yeah, I got some girls that are getting medals at most meets. I'm at the point where I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna take to districts, and if I take it to districts, hopefully I take it to state. You know what I'm saying? So I'm starting to get some more clarity. Something that looked like damn near a sure bet early in the season is looking a little bit more cloudy. But we're gonna persevere. We'll see.
Right.
Well, hats off. to you.
Yeah, man. So that's pretty much it.
Pretty much it. Okay. Well, over here,
What about yourself, Mr. Stewart?
myself, I am part of a big reason why we didn't record last week. I was on the road with my brother, helping move the matriarch of our family from Dallas, Texas to Aurora, Colorado. We flew that Thursday night. Picked up.
Oh,
a
y'all
truck.
ignorant motherfuckers. That means his mother.
Yeah. Sorry. I know we do have some niggas that like to listen to niggas talk, and they may not know what that word meant. Yet. But yeah, so we U-Haul, loaded the truck up, drove it across Texas to Colorado. It was a good time. And I didn't even think about it, but I mean, nothing strange. It wasn't strange, but on the way back, because we drove back from Colorado to Kansas City for some reasons that are obvious to people who know me and my brother. We didn't want to fly back. I think we were doing like an 84 and a 75. So, going faster than the speed limit. Got pulled over by the state patrol, the Highway State Patrol, as we were entering Kansas.
No, that sounds like a prickly pear.
It do. And the thing, it wasn't, I mean, hey, if you could go online and write like glowing reviews for interactions with law enforcement or whoever, state officials, whatever, however you want to, label them, probably the best interaction I've ever had with a law enforcement officer.
Wow.
Of course, we did the whole thing where as soon as we stopped, I turned record on my phone, and we both put our hands up, even though we've done nothing wrong. And like it was like just subconscious, like immediately hands out in the open, so you can see what we're doing. Every time my brother or I made a movement, we announced what we were doing, and all this is playing out in my mind. Like, damn, this is really. I mean, of course, we talk about it on the show what you're supposed to do, but the reality of it is that this is what I have to do. Kind of made me sad after the interaction. Oh, what is happening? Why? Who did that? Are we? What the fuck is? Okay. Anyway.
Sorry, I clicked on it. I didn't know what it was.
Together mode? Oh, okay. Okay, anyway.
I don't know what the fuck that.
Nigga, we are in the trees.
I told you, I be telling you they listening, man.
They listening. So anyway, to try to make the story short, I'm in the woods. This officer got out of his car, came along the passenger side because, we were on the interstate and it was pretty busy. All he asked for was my brother's identification because he was driving. And you can tell even in his look in his eye was kind of like, well, damn, I don't want to tell them to relax because of what's going on in the world. But you can tell that he felt bad that we immediately put our hands up like we were guilty of something. He asked for my brother's identification, insurance, took that, said, hey, just gonna give you a warning, I need to slow down. I said you're in that range where you're going almost too fast, but not enough for me to pull you over, but hey, let's just be safe. And then what stuck with me is like the assholes or the asshole cops, law enforcement officers, we ask everybody for their ID. That's what I've heard. Right. That's what I've seen in the past. But this guy was like, no, I just need to see his. I said, you don't need to see. He's like, no, you're not driving. You good. And that was it. I mean, a very non-eventful interaction, the way it should be with law enforcement.
Exactly.
That was my only point to bring that up. Yeah. But it was just weird, because we had literally just watched. I mean, we do this enough to where you've probably been conditioned through the stories, the battle scars of what we talked about. And, we watched the veteran a couple weeks ago get pulled over in Mace, that type of thing. Yep. But you automatically turned your phone on. I'm still not there, and maybe it's just I'm not tech savvy like you.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know that when I get pulled over, my hands are automatically at 10 and 2.
Yep.
I don't dig around a whole lot, but I do want to know, since that the license and registration are within reach, that I don't have to. I don't know, make any sudden weird movements or like that. But I mean, you got the phone turned on, like Lando Castile mode.
Yeah, dog. It's and we have a family chat group, and we talk about that a lot. And I think the podcast and also even our family members like, hey, y'all gonna be on the road, y'all get pulled over, turn the video on, or if you can't turn the video on, just call somebody and leave the phone on, so we can be even go to the voice so we can hear it.
I actually have this shortcut on my phone. It's called Siri, I'm getting pulled over, and then what it'll do is turn on the camera, turn down your music, turn off the screen, and starts recording. And then after it's done, it'll send a copy to whoever you designated to send it to.
Yeah, I've heard of that. And I should say the only time we got nervous was because, of course, we had ID, all that stuff out. But because he was like, "Was this your car?" We're like, "No, it's a rental car," and we had to get the rental agreement. So he's like, and Dame was like, "It's in the glove compartment." You could tell we were both like nervous. We had to open even though we knew it wasn't shit in there, but the rental agreement and the information for the car as far as like what to do if something don't go right, you know.
And the key. Oh, my bad.
Go ahead. What say? In the key. Nah, we had that safely hidden in the cleaning products that we brought back with us, Nick.
Indeed.
Gotcha.
We don't ride with the weed in the main compartment.
No. Hell no.
Like you don't have to get that. You got to get that dog, nigga, if we want me to open that trunk.
Right.
Anyway, but yeah. So that was that, man. But we opened the story up with the. Anyway, yeah. Thank y'all for coming on y'all time. Appreciate it. We opened the show up with the verdict being read of the of George Floyd, well, the Derek Chuavin case, but of course it's been being called the murder of George Floyd trial and all this stuff of that nature. But it was actually the cops' trial, and. I open it to you. We talked about it in our chat group. The fact that even though I watched this man kill another man on camera with no care or concern to be shown in his face, I was still nervous as they read the verdict that they would let this bastard off the hook.
Think we all were.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and like I said, there were, as the verdicts was read and everything, I was on pins and needles about this the entire day, actually the entire week when they went ahead and rested, when the defense and the prosecution rested their cases, waiting for the verdict. The uncertainty that, we've seen this play out before back in 91 when the Rodney King verdict was read,
right.
And they didn't kill Rodney King, but yet this was that same type of feeling that that I was experiencing during just waiting for the trial,
right,
to come to a head. And even though the verdict was guilty, I'm still not satisfied. I'm still not satisfied even if the sentencing phase, because we still have a hell of a lot of work to do. We still need to get out there and get these people to actually see, what corrupt policing looks like and do something to change it.
Right. Exactly. I mean, and I guess this is a start, but to me, it's still the taste of it don't taste right. You know what I'm saying? Because George Floyd wasn't the perfect victim, but it had to be a perfect crime. And even with it being a perfect crime, mean that this motherfucker did it on camera for the world to see. We still are nervous. We were still nervous, and still, and like we talked about too, the sentencing, shit, they might get this motherfucker like 6 months with an ankle bracelet on. I mean, I'm sure it won't be that severe, but we don't know, right? I mean, it won't be that not severe.
That lenient.
That lenient. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we don't know.
Right. They gonna hit him with that time already served.
Dog.
There you go.
You talking about going to work? You talking about going to work sick?
Boy, you gonna give him a hug and a Bible.
Yeah, like old girl. But
well, hopefully though, I know whatever station I was watching that, when they announced it, when they read the verdict, and I watched a little bit of commentary afterward, and somebody was talking about there was a young girl that was present on the scene. I forget her age, and she also apparently testified on the prosecution's behalf in the trial. So, anyways, I don't remember what they were calling it, but they were saying that there's some sort of exception, or not exception, but I don't know, some sort of rule where where the prosecution will probably try to invoke it and ask for a harsher sentence, because I think what was it, like 15-year max, I think, for the second degree murder, I believe, or second degree homicide. And so they were saying that the prosecution has the option to try to invoke this rule because this minor witnessed, what happened. And, kind of like if you do something sexual, if you commit some sort of sexual crime and that happens, it doesn't necessarily have to be towards a minor, but if a minor is present, you know what I'm saying, then you're gonna, you're probably gonna, if you get convicted of that, you're probably gonna have to register as a sex offender or whatever. It's kind of like that, so right. They're saying that they're probably going to invoke that and ask the judge for extra time. But once again, they're asking the judge, and it's up to the judge's discretion. So we'll see what occurs. What's that, in about a month or so, something like that? I think they're going to do this.
I think they said, the lawyer has 60 days.
8 weeks. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So somewhere in there as far as to whatever they want to say or do. And I forget where I was at, which chat group I was. No, it wasn't our chat group, another chat group I had. Someone asked a question, and it kind of made me sick to my stomach. Did we ever find out if that bill was counterfeit or not?
I never heard of the bill.
I don't even think so.
Super beyond the point.
I'm just saying, though, a man died for nothing.
Right.
He died for nothing either way. If it was,
I'm just saying, but the whole reason he was,
if it was a real $20,
but the whole reason he was called upon there was basically for a damn $20 bill.
Right.
Yeah.
And they just kind of pushed that away. I get what you're saying. It's beyond the point, but for me, it's like you came and put your hands on me because you thought I had a counterfeit bill, and now I'm dead. But that kind of just went away. The whole reason why you were called in the first place.
Yeah, shit. I heard a former prosecutor, I believe, say that normally people don't even get arrested for passing counterfeit money, like unless it's large quantities or some shit. Are they got an operation going on or some shit? But like Joe said, that that's kind of it don't even matter.
Delaney.
Yes.
Weren't you on the episode when we talked about when this happened?
I think so, because I just remember, I feel like I remember talking about how this wasn't like the first instance of Derek Chuavin being like a shitty cop. Like he had so many previous issues, and so it just shows how problematic the whole system is, because this obviously should have been avoided, and he probably should have been fired long before this even happened. I can't remember exactly what his previous issues were, but yeah, I think I was here when we talked about it.
Have you seen
go ahead.
Any change in the last year?
Changes in people's feelings about it, or?
Sure, yeah. Let's talk about it.
Not really. I mean, I don't know. Like you guys said, it's sad that people still have to be worried that he was even going to get convicted, since there was video evidence. It was so obvious how wrong the situation was. But we just don't know if justice will actually be served. And I mean, luckily it was, but yeah, we still don't know his sentencing and everything. I don't know. I remember when it first happened, I knew some people on Facebook that were saying oh, well, I just see a corrupt cop and an innocent man. It's because they didn't think that race played a role in it. It's how, I just don't understand how people don't see that. So that does concern me, that some people still don't think it's a racial issue, and so that's concerning. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting. That brings me to two things. So I had forgot during the intro, he was trying to cook a pizza, so I got distracted. But I had a source on my side eye for this week. And so basically somebody who had posted, there was a coworker, former coworker, he doesn't work with me directly anymore, but he still works for the school district. Social studies teacher, white guy, decent dude, you know what I'm saying? But He got out there on Facebook the other day and said that we talk about bad cops, this, that, bad cops, that. And he said, let's remember the cops who stood up for what was right and spoke out in testimony against Derek Chauvin. And like, see, not all cops are bad shit. And I was like, hold the fucking phone. But Joe said,
did you
go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Joe. Because what you were talking about, did you see what's old boy Daily Show? You may have been talking about
Trevor Noah?
Yeah, Trevor. He had a thing where he was talking about the same thing, but he was saying it's not bad apples. It's the tree is rotten. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, like Delaney was saying.
Yeah.
This dude should have been fired for bullshit he did long before it. But this nigga was training other cops.
Right.
Not only was he allowed to keep his job, they made this nigga the motherfucker who trains other cops how to be shitty cops. That's systemic.
And we talked about on the show though too, where to me this felt like a sacrificial lamb, and all these people who have played a part in this, like you said, this guy's, if he's training, I believe, was he a sergeant or something? So that means he has some rank within the department, even though what Delaney brought up, I forgot, it was a teenage boy who he had, the one that came out where he had put a similar whole knee on this young boy's back. But he's known the asshole and the instigator in the community. But you got all these top-ranking officials who are now trying to separate themselves and saying, "Well, this ain't the way we train our cops." But it's like, so why this dude still got a job then? Why has he still had a job then? You know what I'm saying? And why on the day of this verdict, you got we got more black bodies. We'll talk about that later. But it's just, it's just crazy. It's crazy.
Is that he's out here caping for these other cops, and I'm like, I'm not about to give any cop that is rolling over on Derek Chauvin, where this shit is obvious as fuck, this nigga was a murderer.
Right.
I'm not giving you. You don't get credit. You don't get no points for rolling over at that point, man. The whole world has seen this shit.
Right.
All you did, you found one leg had gangrene and you chopped it off, nigga. You don't get fucking credit for that.
No.
Right.
Because the gangrene was going to spread. It was going to kill the whole body, man. They trying to say, they are literally. I have been to Minnesota. There are literally murals up on the fucking walls and on the streets that say defund the fucking police. No. I take that back. They don't say defund the police. They say abolish the police.
Yeah.
Wow.
You had to cut this fucking leg up. You had to make him the bad apple.
Had to.
You couldn't let that be about the system. That had to be about him. It's him. He's the bad one.
Yeah, because it was it had too much evidence against him. Mm-hmm. That's why they had to make him the I don't want to use scapegoat in this.
He's a sacrificial lamb. They
had to make him the sacrificial lamb in this instance, man.
So like,
I mean, Joe's analogy was spot on, man. As far as saying like you got gangrene in your leg, you got to cut the leg off, or it's going to spread to the rest of your body.
Exactly.
So they didn't want to go down. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want the whole ship to go down, so got to throw him overboard.
But then they get
that's not.
Go ahead.
So my dude who was the source of the side eye quickly took that fucking post down.
But then they also want to do that thing, kind of what Joe's tiptoeing up, talking about, like, well, look what we did. I mean, goddamn, we sent one to jail. Ain't that good enough for y'all? We did enough. And then you got cops talking about they want to quit because they sending cops to jail. It's like, well, stop killing people, pimp.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. Just police. Nothing in the definition of police includes killing non-armed citizens or any citizen in your area.
Right.
It means protecting and serving and keeping the area that you were assigned to safe. That's it. That's all. You don't get to play fucking judge and jury, bro. I got two parents that were cops during the fucking crack era and found a way not to fucking shoot niggas in the back. Found a way. I don't know how they did it.
Somehow, some way.
They found it. Yeah.
So the other thing that Delaney said that it kind of reminded me of, I read an article somebody sent me, I think it was today, maybe yesterday, about the look on Derek Chauvin's face.
And
how it wasn't hate. in his eyes. Like we watched the clip of him, receiving the verdict, and this nigga was looking like befuddled. He wasn't even looking like
blinking.
He was sad. He looked befuddled. Like, how the fuck? What?
Them blinks had me cooking though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it was like his.
But he's looking like confused.
Yes.
Like, how the fuck are they? How the fuck are they finding me guilty?
It was
Everybody
like
on planet Earth that saw the shit was like, this nigga guilty.
Right. How
This nigga looking confused as fuck.
It looked like
in the moment, he had his fucking hands in his pocket.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he didn't look. There wasn't anger in his eyes.
No.
That nigga looked completely just like it didn't matter to him. He was fucking what's the word I'm looking for? Indifferent.
Yeah.
A little
It was
routine to
indifferent.
him.
And what it said is in this article is that the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference. This nigga gave a shit whether George Floyd lived or died.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
If he lived, he was cool with it. If he died, he was cool with that too. You know what I'm saying? He was completely indifferent. Like if I fucking step on an ant, I don't know.
Right.
No, that's probably how he saw him though. That's probably a pretty good analogy, bro.
Right.
But what I'm saying is basically like that. You know what I'm saying? And what it also evoked was the letter from the Birmingham jail from MLK, talking about, you know what I'm saying, the enemy of the movement is not it's not the KKK. They're easy to identify. You know what I'm saying? It's white ignorance. It's people who you're like, okay, yeah, that's cool, and they keep on moving. Right. And don't give a shit that injustice happen. Don't give a shit that, you know what I'm saying, people are being killed left and right. Don't give a shit, you know what I'm saying, that there's impoverished conditions that are the legacy of slavery. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the enemy of progress, is indifference. You know what I'm saying? And so some of the things Delaney said kind of remind me of that. Like, she's looking around, some people,
Yeah. It's like still don't think that race had anything to do with it.
Right, exactly.
Gosh. Yeah. We ain't gotta play this, but at least Joe Biden did have remarks about the verdict. We all know the fat Nixon probably would have shamed the jury and the judge for finding this man guilty. So I will give Creepy Joe that. You know what I'm saying? Right. Then my boo back.
And I like because this also touches on Delaney's point about Chauvin, who I've actually been trying not to even say the motherfucker's name, but how he had, a history, of excessive force or brutality or whatever however you want to label it. And so, they're I don't know the ins and outs of the George Floyd bill that they're trying to move, forward through Congress. But I do know that, part of it is tracking those cops that, and when there are reports of excessive force or brutality, and, basically labeling them, you know what I'm saying, and getting them out of the system of policing. Because oftentimes what happens is that a police officer will get in trouble, get into some shit in one department and resign or get fired, and then they'll just go down the street to a different department and get a job there. You know what I mean? So that definitely, I appreciated him, saying that even though that this verdict was a win, was a victory, it still is just the beginning, you know what I'm saying, to really correct and deal with the problem.
Yeah, them niggas need to go work at Walmart afterwards, man. Fuck that shit.
Right.
And a lot of it,
not in security.
Not security. Right. But like you're talking about, a lot of it goes to how that paperwork gets filed when they're released from that particular department. I think it's like POST, which is their national exam. So there's some kind of credentialing, post, whatever. And if it's kind of like the military, if you're released with an honorable discharge or general, some shit like that, for the most part, you still get that security clearance. You can explain it away, or you can, like you said, go across the street and work in the next department. You know what I'm saying? Right. They had a similar case here in, I believe, out in Overland Park, where a cop had killed a young man, and he was released from the department, but they pretty much said he left the department of his own accord. Right. So that motherfucker was still allowed to go seek employment at a police department.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Even though he had a case pending still in the death of this young boy out in Overland Park, man. So yeah, man, we definitely need national legislation that's gonna hold these people accountable, and then put bad cops on a list where you're like, nah, bro, you can't get a fucking job. You just killed a man 2 years ago, my bro. You know,
Right.
yeah. But it's gonna take some time because people, for some reason. I mean, not for some reason. I know we get it. They love the police, and police can do no wrong until they kill one of their grandmamas or some shit. Then it's all bad, right? Or they storming the Capitol building, and then it's fuck the police.
Right.
But whatever. But yeah, you know, shout out to Sleepy Joe, Creepy Joe, however we're gonna call him, for at least addressing the nation and talking about this, because definitely something that would not have happened a year and a half ago.
Hey, isn't it nice to have a clip from the president and feel no need to play it?
Dog,
Right.
hey, bro. I was like, I said, as long as ain't no little white girls around, ain't nothing weird gonna happen on this clip.
No problem. As long as ain't no creepy besting girls, you know what I'm saying, just hanging out for a family gathering.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? If it's just Kamala in the back looking regal, we gonna be good, bro.
You saw how far back Kamala was.
Yeah.
Kamala was in the way back. Nigga.
Way back, cause she probably still got that Luster's pink moisturizer sheen in her hair.
Yeah.
Hey, that shit's aphrodisiac, bro. Joe wouldn't know what to. Not our Joe, but Creepy Joe wouldn't know what to do.
Say he lose his mind. Huh?
Hey, you smell that, dog? You lose. Hey, I smell that to this day. Somebody put that in the air. Shit, I start playing Maxwell, nigga. So if it's cool, I wanna.
Wow.
Hey, if we got a listener out there, could y'all make that into a candle? Please. That way, when you come, hey, when a woman come into my house, she know what's about to happen. When she smell that pink moisturizer, nigga, she know what's going down.
We gotta get Erica Badu to make some punks, bro.
Ooh, hey.
Yeah.
I might drop one hot album and then be obscure for the rest of my life. All right. At least we can laugh at the end of it there. So it's kind of So the world was concerned that there would be rioting and burning of buildings in the street because the Negroes would be upset. So Florida said, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna sign an anti-riot law. Make it." And it's funny that of course, anti-riot. What they really mean is black people protesting,
Right.
getting fucked up.
Of course.
An Orlando civil rights attorney filed a federal lawsuit Wednesday against Governor Ron DeSantis, Attorney General Ashley Moody, and Orange County Sheriff John Mina in what may be the first legal challenge to Florida's anti-riot law that went into effect this week. The lawsuit was filed in the U.S. District Court in Orlando, blah, 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 blah. So we talked about it on the show. Basically, they give a lot of leeway to the police to say, yeah, y'all fucking up, we're arresting everybody. You're going to jail.
Yeah.
They have.
Yeah, and it was I was reading something about that too, and they were talking about how the governor of Florida, what's his name?
DeSantis. Yeah.
How when they were, I guess, getting ready to put that bill up to vote on, that he was making the rounds, his little speaking rounds or whatever, and he was putting a lot of attention on what happened on January 6th at the Capitol, as far as reasons why they needed this bill. But when he spoke after the bill passed, when he signed it or whatever, there was no mention of that. All that was mentioned was of the protests, involved with, basically with the George Floyd murder. Yep. You know what I'm saying? The Black Lives Matter protest. So, you could, what they call the bait and switch.
Yeah.
How's it go? Bait and switch.
Bait and switch.
You know what I'm saying? That's basically, what that type of situation was, man. Because I think that we all, people that's in the know, obviously see that that's what it was really about. You know what I'm saying? Was the Black Lives Matter movement. So.
Yep. The law also creates a broad category for misdemeanor arrests during protests, and anyone charged under the provision will be denied bail until their first court appearance. It creates a new felony crime of aggravated rioting that carries a sentence of up to 15 years in prison and a new crime of mob intimidation. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to find it in the lettering here, but this was all because what was it? Indianapolis we talked about too. Or was that in Kentucky? They were trying to do a similar thing, I believe, where if you basically mow down these protesters because you can quote unquote fear for your life, granting
there's Oklahoma,
definitely, yeah,
that was Oklahoma,
granting folks immunity for these crimes, which is something similar. That go ahead, Zeb.
I was just going. You're still talking about the Florida thing, right?
Yes.
That was part of Florida. Yeah. I was just going to say I think that we had talked about, as you mentioned, a similar proposal in Oklahoma. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that passed both houses also. I don't think that the governor signed it yet, and I don't know if the governor's going to, but I believe that did pass. I just wanted to throw that in.
And it's just crazy in this nation that where as soon as more than 3 people get shot by AR, you got our amendments, we got the right to our guns, but here they are taking peaceful protests and putting that shit in the blender and shitting on it, and ain't nobody saying nothing.
No.
Except, there are people, but not the same people who spit that rhetoric when it comes to their guns.
Right.
Yeah, who hold their constitutional, amendments so close to their heart.
So close to their heart.
Dear.
Yeah, near and dear.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't saying nothing about First Amendment right now. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
Take my freedom to petition away from my cold dead hands.
Yep. Speaking of dead hands, Josh Hawley, piece of shit. Damn it, I hate he's from Missouri. Dog, you have to really be a piece of shit to be the only motherfucker to say no to a hate crime bill. And I get it.
Ted Cruz said yes.
Fat Wolverine said yes, nigga. Fat Wolverine said yes. How, nigga? How? Hey, and I get it. And like maybe Josh was listening to some Nas and he heard that Nas is like an Asiatic something. He thought they was talking about that. You know what I'm saying? So when he heard that Asian hate crime bill, he was still thinking about black folks. Maybe that's why he said no. I don't get. You know what I'm saying?
The Asiatic black man.
Asiatic black man. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's why he said no. Dog, you have to work really, really hard to be this big a piece of shit, dog.
Yeah, you got to wake up in the morning and look yourself in the mirror and be like, today I'm going to be a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, dog,
you got to get those what do they call it, self affirmations. You know what I'm saying? Or reaffirmations, whatever it's called.
I hate you.
Josh.
I hate me.
I'm going to be a piece of shit today.
I hate everybody. I hate you. I hate me. I hate everybody. You know what I'm saying? On some shit like that, dog.
He should have been on the Dave Chappelle show. The haters ball.
The haters ball.
The haters ball.
I gotta go put some more water in your mama's water bowl, buck nasty. Hate.
Yeah,
anyway,
should have been part of that.
Yeah, we've spoken about this piece of shit. No, we just wanted to mention it because in this world, we talked about 2 weeks ago. We talked about some of the videos we had where the Asian people were getting beat up, fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And he's talking about it gives all this broad stuff to the federal government. All it does is create a committee for people to look in, research, and say, yeah, this is fucked up. We might need to go to this state and see what's going on. I mean, like I said, like Joe said, Ted Cruz, the hoest of hoes, even said yes to this.
Yeah.
That gives you an idea, dog.
Yeah.
Ted Cruz, a man whose state was fucking had no power in freezing, who went to Cancun. Even his dumb ass said yes to this. Anyway.
Yeah, man. So, I know Delaney was saying in the pregame that I don't know if this is still the case that, she doesn't live in Missouri any longer, but she still voted, at least in this last presidential election, for Missouri through absentee ballot, which is totally legal. Don't listen to Donald Trump.
But don't listen to him because he did it too,
We might need you to hold on. We might need you to hold on for another 3 years to 2024 because we got to vote this motherfucker out.
Every vote.
And we're going to need all the votes we can get.
Delaney, what's your impression of Josh Hawley? Have you been paying attention to him?
I mean, I don't know too much about him. I mean, I know he's a piece of shit.
There we go.
That's all you need to know. That's
I know, he's like a big fan of Trump, and that's pretty much all you need to know to not like him. But
what'd you think about what he did during the insurrection?
Right.
What did he do? I don't remember.
He's the one that had his hands. He was pumping up the rioters.
Well, he was one of the main ones talking about not voting to accept the results on July 6th.
Yep.
He's one of the main ones who kind of instigated people to come to D.C.
Yep.
Yeah.
And be involved in that whole situation. As he was going into the Capitol, he pumped his fist towards the rioters, and then he still voted not to accept the votes.
The final vote, yep.
Yeah, it's certified.
There's so many people like him that are just so hypocritical because it's like if Trump would have won the election, they would have been like, oh, it's totally fair, totally a great election. But the fact that they lost, they're like, oh, it's rigged. Like, if it would have gone the other way, it would have been fair to them. So it's just like there's no winning.
They spent 4 years talking about your duly elected president, Donald Trump.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And like you guys were talking about with like gun laws, it's like, oh, okay, they want to protect their guns, but then when it comes to like protecting that freedom, if it applies to black people or people they don't care about, then they're like, oh, then it's fine.
Oh, that's fine.
They're just very hypocritical.
And then we have Senator Jerry Morin, also a Republican in Kansas. I mean, fuck Kansas always. He supported the measure Thursday. He referred to a spat of hate crimes in his home state in recent years, including the Jewish Community Center shootings in Overland Park. I remember that. The bombing plot against Somalis in western Kansas. I remember that. And the murder of an Indian immigrant in Olathe. I remember that. It was near a club I used to go to back in the day. I remember all that shit. Matter of fact, it was somebody I worked with. Their husband knew the man who was killed, the Indian person who was killed. So Your homie next door, who's a Republican, is on board. Once again, Josh, what the fuck is wrong with you? Anyway, we spend enough time on this nigga.
When Jerry Moron is on board.
Derek.
He is one vowel away from being a moron. You're right.
Oh my God, I hate this shit. I hate him. Yeah. Oh, well, I guess this is why in Missouri. So yeah, we'll talk. I'll keep an eye on this, but just mention this that way we can keep an eye on it for the show. Missouri lawmaker accused of abusing his kid resigns, saying he plans to leave the state. Yeah, they said not so fast, my nigga. We gonna need you to show up for these meetings. Rick, we'll put it out there in a letter to the House Clerk, Representative Rick Rober, Representative Lee Summit. Did not mention the allegations against him or ongoing probe by the House Ethics Committee. So yeah, if you listen to this, Representative Rick Rober, look him up. Here's his picture. Yep, there you go. Anyway,
well, okay. So we talked about police officers resigning after doing fuck shit and going to another place and getting elected. You know what I'm saying? Then you got this dude lawmaker who is going to leave the state and probably after the smoke clears, you know, in his new community, try to run for office.
Of course. What
do we think about Eric Greitens' punk ass?
Oh shit! Yeah.
Delaney, you been paying attention to Eric Greitens?
No, the name sounds familiar though.
Eric Greitens was the governor about 5 years ago of Missouri. I don't know if you remember what happened.
Was he the one with the, or no, maybe this was something else. Was that the one with the underage girl or no?
Underage girl?
I can't remember.
Nah, he was the one that, what'd he do? Wasn't he like holding a chick?
Yeah,
taking pictures of her or something like
he was
that?
holding the chick hostage.
That's it.
And I want to say took pictures, videotape or something like that.
Yeah.
And then was blackmailing her.
Right.
Shut the fuck up about it by saying he's gonna release these pictures. But that's not what the nigga resigned over. that wasn't the shit that killed his fucking career. The nigga also had fucking campaign finance problems. This nigga was taking the money out, the shit that the donations that were coming to this campaign. That nigga was pocketing that shit. That's why the nigga resigned from being governor. This nigga then saw the Trump administration and decided, oh man, 3 years have passed. Fuck it, I'm running for senator.
Yeah, because he's resigned. He's not running again.
Yeah, Roy Blunt is resigning. Eric Greitens is out here like, man, I can do this. I already won governor here. This is a program. Fuck it. I'm back in there. Have we forgotten? I don't know. Have people forgotten what Eric Greitens is about?
I think the better question is, do people care as long as the state remains red? You know what I'm saying? That's where I think we at right now, bro, which is very disgusting and sad. Because like we all, for the most part, I mean, independent, but for the most part, I think we because we have to vote Democrat. And even though, but even we give Joe the smoke. You know what I'm saying? Even we give Joe the smoke. But these bastards be hush when it comes to their own.
Right. So Delaney is the one who put me on to the little game on the website on Google where you just kind of say a Florida man, put your birthday in or whatever. Delaney the one who put me on to that. You know what I'm saying? And so I think, Florida has the reputation of being the most fucked up state in the union. We have been talking about Georgia strong for the last 2 years and how fucked up Georgia is. Missouri right there.
No, we discussed it. Quiet as kept, dog. We especially these last 10 years, dog. We hold the fuck up, bro. What y'all mean? We can't be in the worst state race, nigga. Josh, get up there. Get up there, show him your magic.
You want more? As senator?
Nigga, Josh punch all the Asians in the face.
We would have 2 fucking worst senators in the union. God, that'd be horrible, bro. Oh man,
I hate them.
Golly. 2 of the worst senators in the union.
So when is that race? Is that
number
next
1
year?
and number 2, nigga?
Nigga, no.
Is that particular Senate race next year?
This is 2024, I thought.
No,
that's Hawley's.
That's 22. That's 22.
Oh, it's in 22? Okay.
Hawley comes back up in 24, but Blunt's seat is up in 2022.
Oh, okay.
And so, just short of 2 years away. You know what I'm saying? The race will probably begin. Well, the race has already started. Like I said,
already started.
Greitens is out here campaigning hard for that spot.
I know Nipsey Hussle didn't mean this way, but the marathon continues.
Yeah.
I know he did not mean this way. Rest in peace, in power. But always. Shit. Hold on.
Mr. Muhammad, welcome back to Democracy Now! It's great to have you with us. Take us on a journey back. Respond to the verdict, but then talk about the beginning of policing in America and its connection to slave patrols.
Good morning, Amy, and good morning, Juan. I think that this verdict, I've been thinking a lot about how to respect the family's sense of closure and what they deserve in the delivery of accountability in this case. But I've also been thinking about this in terms of battle in a broader context of a war, and that war being justice for Black people and for BIPOC people and for poor people in this country. And in this sense, the outcome of this trial represents a battle that was won, a long fought, and as Candace Montgomery so eloquently described in the work that she's been doing, the consequence of years of organizing work in Minneapolis. And just to remind you, each one of these battles will take place in the courts of our country, whether it will be in Toledo, Ohio, whether it will be in Chicago, whether it will be in this case, most recently with Ma'Khia Bryant in Columbus, Ohio. And so that's how I think about the trial and the work that remains. But of course, we know that while the prosecution was performing in such a way to make the case that Derek Chauvin was a rogue actor, the truth is that policing should have been on trial in that case. And we don't.
Boom.
There it is.
Yep.
And as always, videos in the show notes. We can't play the whole 16-minute clip, but definitely if you're listening to this, worth your time to go into the show notes and click on this. A lot of knowledge being dropped in this video.
For sure.
And we have touched on it too already on the show when we talked about the verdict about the sacrificial lamb, quote unquote. But yeah, just the way policing in general needs to be put on the forefront and be brought to bear as far as what not just black people, people of color, and poor communities. You know what I'm saying? As Khalil pointed out in the opening of his interview. So yeah.
Delaney, I got a question.
Go for it.
So Roger kind of talked about his nervous encounter with the police early on. What are your traffic stops like? Or I know you're a perfect driver, so you probably don't have them. You know what I'm saying?
She's a woman driver.
I haven't been pulled over when I've been driving. I've been in the car a couple of times when someone else was driving and got pulled over. I know one of the times, this was back right after I graduated high school, and it was with some other people on the debate team. And we were leaving the drive-in. And, when the second movie's over, it's like 1 a.m, it's pretty late. And the guy that was driving was speeding, and I guess he had a taillight out. But anyway, the cop pulled them over, and being debaters, a few of them wanted to be lawyers, so they knew way more about the laws than I did. But when he came over, he opened the back door that I was at, and then because we were still laying down in the back, we hadn't put the seats up and we didn't have our seatbelts on, which is bad obviously, but we were tired, so we were down. So we put the seats up real quick, and he opened the door that I was at behind the driver and was like, "Oh, I saw you guys do that," and then slammed the door. And when he went back to his car, all of them started being like, "Oh my God, he can't do that." It was a weird instance, but I think he knew that what he did was, obviously it wasn't anything crazy, but it's still he wasn't supposed to be doing that. So when he came back, he was all nice. And then the other time somebody got a speeding ticket, but no, I haven't interacted with the cops. My worst interaction was actually with boat patrol. I was on a boat, and I was the only one underage. They were checking all of our IDs and everything, and this cop, I guess he's a cop, boat patrol, but he yelled at me, and I was just crying. It was very traumatic for me because I had never gotten, I never had any interactions with police really ever before that. So that was not a fun instance. I don't want to go into too many details about it, but that's the extent of my interaction with police, I feel like.
So would you feel obviously a police officer slammed your door and everything, but would you feel police have generally been over the line, respectful? How would you characterize it?
I know there's been a few times where, because I think there was another time that my friend got pulled over and the guy was super nice, that cop was really nice. I feel all of them, the power kind of goes to their head, they'll be assholes just because they know they can be. And it's also when there's so many of us that should know the laws a lot better, I don't know them that well, so it's hard to know that when they do something like that, whether it's like slamming the door or something more serious, it's like you don't know if you can really like argue with them on it or not. And I mean, I think it's a problem in itself that like not only like people that interact with cops don't always know what the laws are, so don't know like what's within their power and what's not, but also the cops don't, a lot of them don't know the laws. Like they're trained for what, like 6 weeks or something before they become cops. Like they should almost have to be like lawyers, or at least know way more about the laws than they do when they get trained.
Right.
But yeah, that's the hard thing, is like if a cop was like, okay, I'm gonna arrest you right now, like it'd be hard to say like, no, you can't, because it's like I don't know, it's hard to argue with them because they have a gun too, so it's like a weird situation.
I don't know. We've talked a lot about, you know, police brutality on the show, and we've talked about, you know, our own personal experiences. We were talking about, so a few of my friends who are fraternity brothers, we got pulled over in front of my house. Raj, you remember the house on Michigan?
Yes, sir.
I don't know, Zeb, did you come through when I was over? I don't know if you remember the old house before I moved here.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I think you might have. I don't remember. But anyway,
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, right. So we were outside of my house, and it's not as nice a neighborhood as I am in now, but you know, it's a black neighborhood. And so we had just come home from a fraternity meeting, so it was like 4 of us. We were all in suits. So it's 4 black people. It was about midnight, you know what I'm saying? We got home from the meeting, but we were all in suits and ties. Something had gone on in the community. There was, you know, choppers around, and they pulled us from the car. I'm in front of my house, mind you. And then they started to put my friend in handcuffs. We tried to ask questions like we know the law, you know what I'm saying, and that type of thing. And they didn't want to hear about it. They just started handcuffing people. And so what made them stop is we said, hey, don't worry about it. We'll just call the lawyers. You know what I'm saying? And then they took the handcuffs off real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm sitting in front of my goddamn own house in a fucking suit and tie and getting arrested for some bullshit crime that I had nothing to do with. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think you're right that they don't know much about the law, and I think we've talked about educating police and making sure that they go through certain trainings about definitely civility, you know what I'm saying, and kind of, you know what I'm saying, making sure they're trained to deal with the public a little bit better. But also, yeah, knowing the law and knowing their boundaries. I don't know. I just I think our experiences with the police have been large. Like I said, you know, Roger had a decent little traffic stop on the way back. I've had a few of those too, but then I've also had the extremes where, you know what I'm saying, it got really ugly. I thought I was going to get in trouble one time. I was leaving Zeb's house. I've
had extreme. Go ahead.
Which one?
I was over. When I went over to your house. This was after college. We recorded a song.
Okay, yeah. And
I didn't leave till like 2 a.m. And, you know, we had been drinking, but it had pretty much been out of my system by then. I came out of your house. I left onto, I don't remember what the street was that went right back to, like,
Scott Boulevard.
The main drag. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember what the name of the street was. But, you know what I'm saying? I came out of there, took a left. I was headed back to the highway.
Mm-hmm.
And a car came barreling down on me. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I see lights in the rearview mirror, and it's speeding like ridiculously fast. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just kind of driving at the speed limit because I know I've been drinking slightly. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I was making sure I was cautious. You know what I'm saying? And so it came barreling down on me. Then instead of going around me, it just started tailgating me, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on? I'm about to die out here." I go underneath a street light, and I see that it's a police car, and I'm like, "Oh shit." So now I'm 10-2, you know what I'm saying? I'm driving, I'm trying to make sure I'm inside the lines, but I'm looking through my rearview mirror every 3 seconds to see what it's doing.
Right, yeah.
Finally, after following me for about a mile, they go ahead and hit the lights and pull me over. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And their excuse was that I had driven outside the lines. Like, fuck, nigga, you just... Y'all just damn near ran me over. Y'all was speeding. Y'all damn near ran me over. Y'all followed me for 2 miles or a mile in the middle of the dark. You know what I'm saying? excuse me if I got a little paranoid and went outside the line. You know what I'm saying? And so I said to them, I said, look, this is racial profiling. Y'all saw my alpha plates in the back of the truck, and y'all decided to pull me over. You said it's a black man. They said, oh, we don't know anything about, fraternities. I said, y'all are police in a fucking college town.
Nigga, shut up.
You don't know what the fucking alpha plate is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so they pulled me over. And so I don't know how I'm not dead, bro. I was
talking greasy to him.
I was talking so fucking wet, nigga.
I think you told me something about this.
I was talking so fucking wet to them. I was like, they was like, hey, you need to turn your music down. I'm like, I'm not turning shit down.
Whoa.
My music was fine when I was rolling down the highway. Y'all the motherfuckers who stopped me and made me roll down the window. I'm not turning the motherfucker down.
You was wilding. You was wilding.
I mean, get hot, bro. And so then after they went and did that, I told them about their racial profile. There was a woman cop. She was like, all right, so you're free to go. And I was like, excuse me, Madam Officer, your foot is right next to the wheel. I don't want to drive over your foot as I lead away here. Could you pretty please the sugar on the top back up? So like, I don't know how I'm alive, bro. I promise I don't.
Yeah. You was walking on thin ice for sure.
I don't know if I'd have been if I was born 20 years later, I'd have known better.
Yeah.
If YouTube was a thing, you know what I mean?
But I mean, yeah, I've had that positive run in. I talked about on the show before. I've been pulled out of my truck in front of my mama's house, had laid down the street with guns drawn on me by the police, all because I was backing into my driveway I guess my mama's driveway suspiciously. To this day, I don't know what the fuck that means. I got off the highway, figured I was going the wrong way, had my blinker on, I guess, to turn left, but then turn right instead. Didn't realize the police were behind me. It was late at night up in North Kansas City. Got pulled over for that shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, man, my bad. My friend sent me this address coming from the opposite direction, and I just realized it. Well, I need you to get out. You look drunk. I'm like, how, nigga? It is 2 a.m. How do I look drunk, nigga?
Because you a black man out in the car.
You a black man in North Kansas City. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and then I just
that's how my dad ended up paying for the fucking doctor bills. I think when I was born, he got pulled over on some bullshit being black in Oakland Park or Olathe or something like that.
Oh yeah,
and sued and got some money back to help pay for the fucking doctor bills and all that shit, man. So
this, yeah. I mean, but
I've gotten pulled over now. You know, well, go ahead. I don't want to get into.
No, go ahead, Jeff.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just gonna say I don't know exactly where Joe was on that street, and this was during pretty much the middle of the day. I was taking it was on that same road though, if I'm reading him correct. Mm-hmm. I was taking my son and his friend to go fishing, and it was all we had got a late start, so we was only gonna be able to get in like maybe an hour and a half of fishing in before it was starting to get too dark. Mm-hmm. And so I think I was speeding. I don't remember the exact details as far as my speed. I think I was speeding, and so I was cool, with whatever. And so I just told the officer, I was like, because we're in a car, so we got fishing poles sticking out the back window and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I'm telling the officer, I'm like, okay, that's cool, but can we just, because they like to take their time and fucking ask you all sorts of questions, where you going, where you coming from, all this and then the third, and this is like it's like 5, 6, 7, somewhere around that time period in the evening. And so I'm just like, well, officer, that's cool, but can we just speed this along? I'm trying to take these boys fishing before before it gets too late. And he didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? And he got all pissy and shit. And he didn't make me get out of the car or anything, but he turned a simple speeding violation into what he call it? What was it? It was like
trump it up, dog. Trump it up.
Reckless. What do you call it? Reckless driving or some shit? Reckless operation of a vehicle or something like that. And then he tried, because there was a construction zone on this same street, but I was already out of the construction zone, and he was coming in the opposite direction. So he made a U-turn, you know what I'm saying, to come and pull me over. He was coming the opposite direction, and I saw him coming. I was already out of the construction zone. So then he tagged that on too, something about speeding in the construction zone. And I end up, number one, I end up having to get a lawyer. I was just about to move to Denver, like in the next month, I think. And so I had to come out of money for a lawyer. I ended up having to go to a fucking MAD class, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, even though I was not drunk, didn't have any, I hadn't been drinking.
Nigga, that's crazy.
I had to end up doing, I forget how many hours of community service. You know what I'm saying? And all I did was speed. I think I sped. I'm not even 100% sure that I was.
Well, you uppity Negro. You had the nerve to ask him to get the ticket to you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
and now use your whole day up.
Yeah, I was just like, can we just, speed this thing up? Can we move along so I can get these boys, so we can go fishing? And yeah, man, his whole demeanor just switched. You know what I mean?
You ordering me? You ordering me? Okay, I got something for you. But it's
that's that same look that fucking Derek Chauvin had in the fucking when the verdict was announced.
Mm-hmm.
Who, me?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Me?
I got a black friend. One of my black friends was holding him down on his legs while I killed him. I mean, hate to say that, but that's what was happening. But yeah, all those little microaggressions that people don't realize, who are not friends or acquaintances or love, members of certain communities. Yeah, man, that shit happens, man. And once you get caught up in the system, and like thankfully you had the money and resources to get a lawyer and fight that shit. But a lot of people who don't have those resources, and once you're in the system, it's a wrap.
Yeah,
it's a wrap, bro. So yeah, but yeah, man, it's just crazy.
Break bread with your brothers whenever possible.